Okay, we're gonna get moving on a short lower body and abs kind of flow here. Add it in the middle of your day, do it by itself, add it onto something else, however it works. We're gonna start standing and we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna face you for the beginning. We're gonna jump in right to Utkatasana, we would say in yoga, or chair pose, or just kind of a squat. So let's bring our weight into our heels. Feet are maybe a fist distance apart, and then start to sit your hips way back. We're gonna hinge forward a bit. I'll show you from the side. So it's like you're pressing your pubic bone, or your pelvis is going back. And then we'll pull the low body up to the low belly, up to your spine. And then bring your heart forward so we have this nice curve in our back. So weight is in the heels. You can lift your toes here. If you're looking for an added challenge, you can try planting your pinky toe and your big toe. Develop some new neural pathways there. And now dig into the center of your heels and imagine that you're spreading your heels apart from each other in opposite directions. You feel like your lower back is expanding wider to the sides. Start to feel the outside of your hips really fire up. Keep that low belly and your heart forward. You can bring your hands to your heart center. You can have hands up overhead if you want to really start to fire up the muscles that surround your spine and your upper back. Keep the hips back and down. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. You can bring your hands back to heart center if you'd like here. We're going to take some really slow pulses. Up and down on a 5 count. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep pressing into your heels. Up, 2, 3, 4, and down. 2, 3, 4. Super slow up. So we're moving the whole time, not locking your knees out at the top. We're going back down. Pressing up, keep the heels digging in and working in opposite directions. Down. Last one. Super slowly, let's press up and you can come to standing. We'll bring our right foot forward, left foot's gonna come back behind us. So we're gonna be in this lunge position. In yoga, we might call this crescent lunge or high lunge. So for the moment here, dig into the center of your heel of your front foot. I have my right foot forward right now. And then pull your back left knee up a little bit. So you're really engaging the quad on the left side. Dig into that heel. Now start to pull your front heel and your back toes towards each other. Feel the inner thighs start to turn on. Imagine you're pulling your feet like they're kind of on a diagonal. Really feel those inner thighs go. You can have hands at heart center. You can have hands up overhead. Hands can stay up overhead, or you can bring hands back down. We're going to really slowly lower the back knee down. Just lower down so it's at 90 degrees. Tap. And then press up. Down, tap, up. That slow tap, up. Let's do 2 more. Nice and slow down, nice and slow up. Last one, coming down here. Up. Start to bring your weight forward into your right foot. You're gonna hinge forward, start to float the back leg up. See if you can flex your foot like you're stepping on the back wall, and start to square your hips down towards your mat. Low belly stays pulled up to the spine, so we're recruiting the muscles of the core, so the anterior front side of the core, the abs, to keep us stable. See if you can straighten your floating leg a little bit more. Have your hands wherever. You can have them resting on a chair or a block. The important thing here is that the leg is straight, so we're using muscles in the hamstring group as they connect to the glutes. All right, let's start to hinge up. Bend your left knee. Slowly, we're gonna reach the leg back again. Starting to feel it in your standing leg here a bit. Come up, hinge back. Last one, coming up here. Reach your left leg back, flexing your foot, really reaching back. Now let's let your fingertips come down to your mat. Lift the left leg up and then tap, bend your right knee, tap your left knee to the outside of your right calf. Tap, lift, tap, lifting up. So you're just a light tap, the outside of the left knee taps the outside of the right calf. We'll do 2 more. Tap, lift, start to hinge upright again. And then from here, we'll try extending your left leg out in front of you, wherever works for you. See if you can flex the left foot, pull your low belly in, right hip pulls into center. Really flexing that left leg. You can feel the quad working. I'm gonna stay here for 3 more breaths. And now start to cross your left thigh over your right thigh. This is what we call eagle in yoga. You can cross the left thigh over, you can wrap your toes around. Whatever you want to do with your hands for today is fine. You can take a full eagle wrap if you know and like that. Hands can come around your shoulders. Hands can stay right here on your hips. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your inner thighs together. See if you can sink your hips back a bit. So I'll show you from the side. Hips are coming back. Squeeze the thighs together. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. Really feeling that in the standing leg again, the right leg. Let's slowly press up. And now, once again, pull your right hip in towards the center line. You'll feel the left hip lift a bit. Really pull your abs back to your spine. Have your left foot flexed. We're going to start to keep the leg straight and lift. Really slow, lowering down. Not all the way down, just getting close. Lift back up. You can feel the lower back and the core really engage here. You could certainly intensify this with something like ankle weights. I think you'll get plenty out of body weight. We're going to do 5 more. Keep the leg nice and strong. You're absolutely welcome to rest your hand on something for balance, whatever you need. Let's see here, 2 more. It's certainly possible I lost track of the count. We'll come back here. Last thing on this side, let's lift the left leg up to 90 degrees again. And we're going to extend the leg out in front. Last time. We're going to go either 10 seconds here, as high up as you can. If that feels like too much, have the knee bent and see if you can extend a little bit or lower the leg down. And both feet can come down. All right, let's come right back into, we're going to take another version of kind of a squat. So take your feet nice and wide, toes point off to the long corners of the mat. We're going to sink your hips right down. So first check that your knees are pointed out kind of over the direction of your toes. So they're not coming in, over your toes. Belly's pulled back to the spine. That's bringing us stabilization from the middle of the body. Take your hands to the back of your knees or up to your thighs, wherever you can reach, and press your knees back behind you. Right, it's going to be a really small range of motion, but you can tell when you're engaging there, and start to notice outside of your thighs really firing up. Begin to dig into the center of your heels, and now start to pull your heels in towards each other. Now we really have the adductors, the inner thigh group, firing up. Keep your hands back behind your knees just to make sure that you're staying engaged there. And we'll return to breath. Now we'll start the pulses. Nice and slow down. It's a lot to think about here, right? We're pressing the knees back behind us, pulling heels in towards each other. Nice and slow. See if you can keep the crown of your head up nice and tall, shoulders down and back. See if we can do 5 more here. 4. Knees back behind you. 3. Slow and steady, almost there. 2. And 1, press all the way up. Whew. Okay, other side. Let's step the left foot forward, and we have our right foot back, coming right in for that crescent lunge again. Okay, so pull the right knee up a little more. You really feel the quad on the right side start to engage. Let your right hip come forward. We're getting a little stretch there in the hip flexor. And now pull your feet towards each other. Imagine you're dragging your left heel back. If you had socks on, right, your right foot would slide forward. Ooh. Sorry, plant. All right, now we're gonna take those little lunges. So both legs are coming down to 90 degrees. Nice and slow. Tap the right knee, right back up. Tap, up. Finding this consistent movement so it's not really fast down or really fast up. Slowly down, really dig into the heel of your front leg, your left foot. Last one, down and up. Start to bring your weight forward into that left foot. Hands can be at heart center here if you'd like. They can stay on your hips. Start to shift forward and float your right leg up. So look for your hips starting to be level towards your mat and a straight leg. Even if you were upright, I'd prefer you're upright more with a straighter leg than hinged over more with a bent leg. So straighten that leg, keep the belly pulled up to your spine. We're gonna stay like that. Hips nice and level, making lots of little adjustments. You're welcome to rest on whatever's nearby for a little extra balance. All right, let's start to hinge upright. Bring your right knee to 90 degrees, and then we'll shift back. Come back upright, and then hinge forward. Reach the right leg back, foot flex like you're stepping on the wall behind you. And we'll come up. Lost my balance there a little. Come on back. And then last time, let's come upright. And now we'll extend the right leg out in front of us again. See if this time you can flex your foot like you're stepping on the wall in front of you. Belly's pulled back to the spine. Really working the quad on the right side. 3 more breaths. And we'll start to hinge forward. This time, fingertips come down to the mat. Right leg reaches up, and then bend the left knee, bend the right knee. Tap your right knee to the right outside of your left calf, and reach up. Tap, and reach. Tapping down, reach up. Let's do 2 more. Tap right knee to the outside of the left calf, reach up. Tap down, leg comes up nice and high. And then let's see if we can, nice and slowly, hinge back up again. Cross your right thigh over your left, wrapping the right foot around. Options here would be you could have your right toes resting on the ground like a little kickstand, hug the right foot in a little bit more, or go for the full wrap. Do whatever you want to do with your arms today. Squeeze the inner thighs together, shift your hips back and down. Return to your breath, stay focused on the breath. Probably can feel the left leg firing up. Maybe a little heat in the calves there. 3 more breaths here. And then slowly unravel. Last time, reach your right leg out in front of you, flex your foot. Again, we're gonna take 10 breaths here. 10 seconds. Depends on your breath count. We don't want to be here for a minute if you're really into a deep breath at the moment. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to face you for this. So pull your left hip in towards your center line. You'll feel the right hip lift a bit. Flex your right foot, and then start to lift up and off to the side. As your belly pulls back, right, you can even put your hand right there on your hip. Feel what's happening in your low back and in your obliques, the ab muscles that run down the sides. Okay, we'll do 5 more. Super important to strengthen these muscles on the outside of our hips. Do so much, provide so much stabilization. Very important for standing up, sitting down, walking, everything in life. 2, 1, and we'll come back to face each other. One last time, we're gonna take another version of our chair pose. So feet a little bit wider, like hip width distance. And now, before we sink our hips back, we're gonna come up on toes. So I can do this side for you as well, face the other way. You're gonna come up on toes as high up as you can. You can always have something nearby to rest on. And then as your belly pulls back to your spine, start to sink your hips back. Want to avoid for the moment having your knees go way forward. See if you can keep them fairly stacked over your heels and then start to sink back and down. You can have hands at heart center. You could have hands up overhead. If you have hands at your heart center and you really press into your hands, it can be a big help for balance. Maybe hands up overhead. Let's stay here with breath. See if you can pull your heart forward a little bit more. 3 more breaths. Slow down, super slow up. Hands together. We'll just do 2 more things that kind of fire up those obliques. So once again, bring your weight into your right foot. I'm doing the same as you, I'm not really mirroring right now. Pull your right hip in. And then as we lift the left leg, we're gonna hinge over, or shift over to the right, kick the left leg out. See if you can stay right here. Just out and in. You could certainly rest your hand on something. Out and in, out, in. So you would be as if there was a table here, your left leg is staying right in the same plane. We're gonna do 3 more. Last one, come upright. You should definitely feel that in the obliques, big time. And then right onto the other side. So we're shifting over. We have a really steady base here on the left side. We're kind of just hinging the body over. And then the right knee comes up really nice and high, and we're just extending the right leg out and in just from the knee. And we'll do 5 more from here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lost my balance there a little at the end. Both of you come down. Reach up nice and high. Take a nice stretch, and we'll see you next time.